we're going to start is colored orthographics. And let's see if I can go to the bottom so you can see where we're going, and then we'll go through the steps. Okay, this is where we're going. Colored orthographics. Because this is an assignment between Tuesday and Thursday, I'm only asking you to do 2 views. You don't have to do every view. For sure, I want you to do a side view, and then you decide what the second view is. Top view, rear view, front view, depending on where your features are. Anybody want to guess what the purpose of this colored orthographic kind of drawing is? Yeah.
In perspective, sometimes these can be misleading.
Yeah.
So you don't know how good it's going to be.
Yeah, what he said is, in perspective, the drawing can sometimes be misleading. You cannot really tell the exact proportions of the product. So this is not perspective. Like that one drawing, side view of Raphael's, almost looked like a colored orthographic, but it wasn't. It actually was in perspective. So you're doing straight side view, and then you're going to pick one other view. And this drawing isn't dimensioned, but I would like you to dimension it. This kind of drawing, after you pick your final design direction, which is what you're going to do today out of your final 3, we send a drawing like this to the client to let them know precisely and exactly the size of the product. It's no longer distorted by perspective. This drawing is a little bit more precise than a sketch. I don't really even call it a sketch. You notice I haven't used the word sketch on this. I've been using the word drawing. You probably need straight edges, and you need triangles to make sure your vertical lines are in fact vertical, if you have vertical lines. It needs to be very accurate. Otherwise, it's shaded very much in the same way that you have already learned how to shade stuff. It's full color. It still has thick to thin lines, but they're more precise and more controlled. It's kind of halfway between a designer's sketch and an engineer's CAD model kind of a drawing. Any discussion or questions about that?
How would we put the dimensions onto the drawing? How would we apply it?
Hopefully some of the other examples here in D2 will have that. If not, I will pull out the other projector and show you. Basically, you just put, like on the bottom, you would put a line, a real thin, precise line going out. At the top, a thin, precise line going out. And then a vertical line between those two, and in the middle of that vertical line there'd be a gap where you would put the number.
Okay.
And most of the time, and I know I'm describing this verbally with a cursor, which is probably confusing, but you would put an arrow at the top of the line and an arrow at the bottom of the line. Although you don't have to put an arrow, but that's traditional.
Can we use ordinate dimensions?
Can you use what?
Ordinate dimensions.
What does that mean?
Ordinate, like 0, let's say your bottom is 0 and then you go up.
No, you put the dimension in the middle. You want to tell the client what is the overall length of this product and what's the overall width of the product. So I would also have another one here on the bottom.
Are those the only dimensions we need to put on it?
It depends on the views that you pick. Yeah, but generally, yeah, you want to know the length and the width and the height.
Okay.
But in this case, I call it the height the length because it's a vertical. But if your drill is like like say this one on the left is a regular drill, let's say it's not meant to change position like this drill is meant to, then you would need to give them the height, the width from left to right, and then in the other view you would want to give them the width from side to side, which is on a regular drill is different. This one's not because it's round. It's kind of not a good example because of the shape of the drill.
Yeah. Do you have a preference as to how we orient the the dimensions? Because last semester McGursky would tell us that if the measurement was for like a vertical line, that the dimensions were also supposed to run vertical to the image.
Hang on. I'm freaking out because did I lose my D2L? I think I lost D2L. Say that again?
Do you is it right to have all the dimensions just upright, or do you if it's like a vertical line that you're given a dimension for, do you want the dimension to also be running vertical?
I want all of the dimensions to be horizontal, as though you were writing on a lined page. What McGursky was talking about is correct drafting protocol, but this is a little bit less formal. This is the purpose of this drawing is to explain to a client in a very accurate way your design, so there's no confusion. I've told you guys before, clients, they're not designers. Usually they're not designers. And you need to give them drawings that cannot be misunderstood or misinterpreted. So I don't want the client to have to read a number that's turned vertical. It's just like, why? Yeah, I understand that's drafting protocol, but I don't use that for showing something to a client. Well, I was going to go to D2L and see if there's any examples of dimension. And we'll do that in a minute, but while I've got this open, let's just go through this. You want to show all of your details that you designed into the product. Like we had a list of requirements for speed control and on-off switch and whatever else we had. We had torque control. So you want to try to pick a view that shows those features. And then you start with an underlay like this. I would use your 11 by 17 for this assignment, a bigger drawing that allows you to be more precise. And if you use your marker paper, it allows you to use an underlay. This is a student colored orthographic, not dimensions.
Do we have to worry about so much about line weight in this thing?
You do still need to worry about line weight. You can see here on this first step, there's an obvious light source from the left side.
Yeah.
The lines on the left are light, the lines on the right are dark. More of the detail lines have been put in on this one. You see the lines around the two parts of the drill, the switch. Even more details. Went back in and made some of the lines darker. Starting to add color. Logos, that was one of the requirements for the assignment, was a logo. Did you get that yet, Natalie, your logo? Did you finish that?
Nope.
Okay, here's something. We talked about one other lesson, masking the vignette. You can do this if you want to. You can mask it, or you can put the vignette down and erase it off of the rest of the product before you put chalk on the rest of the product. Masking is a little bit neater, but there is some risk involved, as you saw in that other demo. So this shows the vignette being put down. This is a gradated vignette. I would like you to go ahead and try a gradated vignette. I see a lot of them on the wall already, so obviously you've been practicing that. Come on, baby. Look, didn't tear the paper. This marker paper is very resistant to tearing compared to regular bond like you saw in that other demo. So I think everything's done here except the magic sky blue and yellow ochre and the highlights.
Where are you putting the yellow ochre on that?
What do you think? Answer your question.
It looks like it's on the right.
No. What's the general rule for yellow ochre?
It's facing towards the ground.
Yep, that's where, that's the answer. On this particular sketch, there's not much facing down, they're just edges. So, but here you see the blue going on the edge facing up. And sky blue on surfaces facing up, and yellow ochre on surfaces and edges facing down. So there's some blue going on the surface facing up. This is a big, big file, I guess. Whatever you do, don't email me a file like this. White on edge is facing up too, so that could get confusing. That's what we just talked about over there on the wall, remember? Highlights. Where do you put highlights?
You highlight
Almost right, but there's more to it.
Wait, the whiteout or actual whiteness?
The whiteout.
Top left. Well, it depends where the light is coming from.
Yeah, depends on where the light's coming from. So you pick a light source, and it should be consistent all the way through the drawing. And then you decide where would the light reflect off from that light source into your eye, and then you be consistent. Stay consistent. You don't want to. So I don't know if you can see them. The highlights are facing towards the upper left. So that one's upper left. That one's upper left. That one up there is upper left. That one's upper left. That one's upper left. That one upper left. Uh-oh, that one there is kind of bogus. Okay.
So on the piece that you'd like us to have, you said you want at least 2 views, right?
Yes.
Why do you have 4 views on yours? One of them is the adjustable mode. I understand that. The other 3 is that just different sides.
So you guys are asking good questions that I think you already know the answer to, so I'll throw this one back at you too. What's the answer to your question?
We're getting a full rotation.
It's a needed residue.
Yeah, I said pick views that you need to show every feature of the product. You might miss some because you only have to do two views. But if I didn't show this view over here on the left, you would not know that the back side is different than this front side. Now, I didn't show another, I call this one the side view because it's where the pivot point is. The side view on the other side is identical to this, but the front view is not identical to the back view.